The Gospel reading for this last Sunday before Lent is the Transfiguration. It gives us a lift before we follow the path of Jesus through Lent to the cross. The name comes from the verse where it says that Jesus was transfigured before them. The Greek is metamorphosized, meaning to change or transform. Mark reads, 6 days later, Jesus took with him Peter and James and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. We will later learn that Peter, James and John are the pillars of the early church, and this appears to be part of their preparation. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no one on earth could bleach them. Mark's rather earthly comparison about bleaching is omitted by Matthew and Luke, presumably as irrelevant. And there appeared to them Elijah with Moses, who were talking with Jesus. How they knew it was Elijah and Moses is not stated, but the symbolism of the story is clear. Moses represents the law and Elijah represents the prophets. Between them, the revelation of God to Israel is indicated. But the heavenly words, which we will come to in a minute, says, "From now on, listen to Jesus." Then Peter has an idea. "Rabbi, it is good for us to be here. Let us make 3 dwellings, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." The word for dwellings is literally tents or tabernacles and could be a reference to Israel's time in the wilderness. But Mark regards the comment as inane and effectively says he said it because he didn't know what to say. Good advice for us all when we don't know what to say. Don't say anything. Then a cloud overshadowed them, and from the cloud there came a voice. "This is my son, the beloved. Listen to him." The reader of Mark will immediately recall Jesus' baptism, where a heavenly voice says to Jesus, "You are my son, the beloved. With you I am well pleased." The parallel is instructive. At the baptism, it comes immediately before Jesus' testing in the wilderness, an experience that required the support of angels, as we see in the final words. Jesus is given the encouragement and affirmation by God that he is beloved before he has to do battle in the wilderness. Similarly, at the Transfiguration, the 3 disciples are soon to face the trauma of seeing Jesus suffer and die, and the fear that the same would happen to them. So they are given a heavenly vision and divine words to hang on to. The prompt to remember what God has done is a frequent theme in the Old Testament. Here are a couple of the references from the Psalms. Psalm 42:6. "My soul is cast down within me, therefore I remember you from the land of Jordan and of Hermon." Or I will call to mind the deeds of the Lord. I will remember your wonders of old. I remember the days of old. I think about all your deeds. I meditate on the works of your hands. In the service this morning, I invited the congregation to share in groups what they look back on to provide encouragement during these dark days and frustration. And it is something that we can do to prepare for whatever lies ahead. There is one further point, a rather puzzling verse at the end. As they were coming down the mountain, he ordered them to tell no one about what they had seen until after the Son of Man had risen from the dead. It is not clear why Jesus forbade them to say anything to the other disciples. Perhaps he was guarding against envy. But the point I wanted to make is that they will talk about it after the resurrection, when their job will be to encourage the other Christians. So remembering what God has done for us, the high points in our Christian life, is not only a benefit to ourselves and how we are feeling, but also to others. The Transfiguration is offered to us before we approach Lent and the crucifixion to come, as a high point, seeing Jesus in his glory, something to hang on to in the dark days ahead. Amen.